Hey everybody, how's it going? It's Jamie from Divine Mommy and the Soul to Sisterhood book. I wanted to hop on and just kind of do some energy healing anytime, anywhere. We may not always feel like we've got the opportune time or space to get quiet, to get into almost a meditative consciousness or awareness. And sometimes that's not what it's about. One of my teachers says that we are living in a modern day mystery school. So we have to find the way to fit all of these beautiful mystery school teachings and knowings in to the now moment of today and trust in the divine purpose of the divine timing. So that's what I'm doing right here, right now. Energy healing anytime, anywhere. It's Jamie. I should have said that. I think I did, from Divine Mommy and the Soul to Sisterhood book. And what we're going to do is a quick aligning and attuning practice, which is the beginning of any healing practical that I've been taught through the esoteric healing lineage. And then we're just going to balance the heart center, because who doesn't need a good heart chakra balance? Okay, so aligning and attuning and allowing, first step of any energy healing. We can align and attune and allow with anyone, anywhere. This is basically just a prayerful, meditative state to get the biology aligned with the etheric anatomy. And then we open up and allow that pure energy of the higher self, the source self, and the center self to come into the chalice of the physical body. So we're aligning and attuning and allowing. Now, through my esoteric healing teachings, I've been taught that we can align and attune and allow with anyone, anytime. We don't necessarily need their permission. This is just an energetic alignment. However, any energy healing that we do beyond that, kind of just good energy housekeeping boundaries. We always need to ask for someone's permission if they can give it. And if they don't have the capacity, if they're incapacitated, we can get their next of kin to give it for us, to us. Okay, let's go ahead and align and attune and allow. So think about that heart center, breathing in deeply. I like to think of a beautiful emerald at my chest, just pulsing in rhythm with my heartbeat. Just that. Notice what you notice about it when you intentionally connect into your heart. On your next exhale, bring this heart-centered awareness up. Feel it coming up and connecting to your ajna center. Now, I like to envision a purple amethyst at my ajna. Again, beating in rhythm with my heartbeat. So we've got this connection, heart to ajna. And now on your next exhale, just connect that even further up into that beautiful white diamond that is your soul light. So we're connected body, mind, and spirit. And I like to imagine my soul light pulsating too, so that they're pulsating in rhythm. Boom, 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 boom. I like to think of that as like a homing beacon, right? For all of my celestial soul family. They can find me, I can find them, maybe just a little easier when I've got this aligning and attunement process sort of integrated into my sphere. So we are connected, heart chakra to amethyst at our ajna, to diamond at our soul light. And what we're going to do is we're going to feel those energies going simultaneously out, up, down, around, to the right and to the left, any direction that you feel called. And we're going to connect into our source self and our center self. Feel that. Become this energetic pillar of light and bring source energy and center energy into the chalice to meet at the heart center. And with your hands at your heart, you can hold them here. You can put them in the Anjali prayer mudra and get them kind of nestled up against your heart center. You're just going to set the intentions for the greatest and highest good to come forward and the greatest and highest choice to come forward. Beautiful. Now, if this were a healing practical, a traditional healing practical, we would get in and we would balance all of the centers on all of their layers of consciousness. Now, believe it or not, every aspect of our being has these layers of consciousness. I've been taught that it's the physical etheric layer, right? The energy layer, or I should say the biology layer of our anatomy, and the energetic layer of our etheric anatomy. We've got the emotional layer, the mental layer, the personality ego layer, the soul layer and the spiritual layer. Okay. So if this were a traditional healing practical, if I was facilitating or I was guiding you or I was teaching, we would go ahead and balance all the centers on those layers of consciousness. Right now, we're just going to focus on the heart center. So again, connect into your heart center. Now, this is where you can call forth your guides, your angels, your ancestors. You can create a whole dream team of people around, beings around to heal you. Or you can just imagine doing this for yourself. Whatever feels most in alignment for you. Remember, there's no right or wrong answer. There's only your answer, and that is the answer. Okay. So we receive energy into our heart chakra from the back, we give it from the front. So feel into your awareness around the front and the back of the heart center. When I'm working on myself, I kind of imagine there's a little invisible me in between my hands, and I just hold my hands up like that. So I'm feeling the back and juicing unconditional love into the back of my heart chakra. And sometimes you'll even feel your angel wings starting to unfurl, because that's right where the angel wings are tethered. And then also feeling into the front, I'm catching this beautiful unconditional love. I'm going to send it out. Remember our intentions: greatest and highest good, greatest and highest choice. And let's go ahead and add to that for every living thing throughout all time and space. And we know everything is living. Ah, beautiful. So connect into the front and the back of the heart center, and you're going to feel the energy, right? If you're adept at doing this, you have your own way of noticing the energy and feeling it and working with it. However, if you're new to this, a couple of different friends of mine that are energy healers have different ways that they know they've connected into the energy. A friend of mine says he knows he has when he goes like this, like moves his fingers a little bit and his joints feel creaky. Another friend of mine says she feels like there's a big ball of cotton candy in between her and her hands. Another friend of mine says it feels so dense. It feels like masses in there, like a really heavily filled up, very tight volleyball. So whatever you feel, just notice what you notice. It could come, awareness could come in and heat, coolness, density, feeling like you need to move out or move in. But remember, we're intentionally connected to the heart center. So we're going to ask the heart chakra to come into its highest conscious expression on the physical etheric layer and level. Beautiful. On the emotional layer and level. Now you saw me move from the physical etheric layer to the emotional layer and level, and you may be thinking, wait a minute, I didn't feel anything shift. It's okay, take your time. You can always pause me and stay where you need to stay. But going from level to level, I always get basically like a notifier or a notification in my body. Like something will click. I'll feel something click in. Let's try it again, going from physical etheric layer and level of your heart chakra consciousness. When you feel it shift into its highest conscious expression, expand and move out to the emotional layer and level. Ask it to come into its highest conscious expression. When you feel it shift, expand onto the mental layer and level of your heart chakra's consciousness. Ask it to come into its highest conscious expression. It feels so good. Now expand again onto the personality ego layer and level of your heart chakra's consciousness. Ooh. And just ask it to come to balance. And if your human brain organ is saying, wait, what? What are these levels? I don't understand. I'm not feeling anything. Love that side of you and keep letting your higher self direct you through your intuition how to best administer this healing treatment for yourself. Now we're going to expand out and ask the soul layer and level of your heart chakra's consciousness to come into its highest conscious awareness. Ah, that feels so good. And just feel this pillar of light once again solidifying between your heart and your soul. Feel that beautiful illumination. It's almost like just this opalescent cylinder around us. Now we're going to expand out once again to the spiritual layer and level of your heart chakra. Now, I've always been taught that this is the highest vibration layer and level of any aspect of your being. We're working with the heart chakra right now. And through my own work and the spiritual technology that my guides have gifted me, I've also been shown that the spiritual layer and level of any aspect of our being is that connection to the Merkaba or Merkaba, however you choose to say it, and the web of oneness. So here's where we get to travel in our rocket ship, to do anything, go anywhere, be any version of us. So here in this spiritual layer and level of your heart chakra, this high vibration connection, ask the spiritual layer and level to come into its highest conscious expression. And I would just say an addendum onto that, let's ask our human brain organs to assimilate and integrate this highest conscious expression of the spiritual layer and level of our heart chakra into the chalice so that we can experience it in the now moment of today, being the human beings that we are and the divine beings that we simultaneously are as well. Now, here in this spiritual layer and level of your heart chakra, just allow that pure mother's milk of source energy, your source self, unconditional love. Allow that pure mother's milk to just float back down from the spiritual layer and level of your heart chakra down to the soul layer and level of your heart chakra, down to the personality, ego layer and level of your heart chakra, down to the mental layer and level of your heart chakra, down to the emotional layer and level of your heart chakra, and now all the way down to the physical layer and level of your heart chakra. Beautiful. That feels really, really good. Thank you. As a final step, we're just going to do the final balance. Once again, go into your sacred space. Balance crown to basic, throat to sacral, heart to solar plexus. I always joke that this helps us not leave our chakras dangling open. But it's also what I've been taught as a final practice or a final piece to any healing practical. The reason we don't add in the ajna, you might have been thinking that, into this final balance is that the ajna is a beautiful holographic reflection of the centers on the body. So as we're balancing them, we're also balancing the ajna. All right, namaste. Thank you so much for doing this healing practical with me. My hope is to do many more videos like this, addressing different aspects of our etheric anatomy and our celestial consciousness. Again, I'm Jamie from Divine Mommy and the Soul to Sisterhood book. Namaste. Mwah.